How's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Got some Pokemon Gen 3 updates. We'll get to it in a little bit, but I did end up training 2 more Tyranitars. I did finish them, that level grinding. And I trained a Steelix too. So we got a new team. It's going pretty well. I was able to use a little bit in the Battle Frontier as well to kind of get a gauge on how the team's going to be performing. But before we deep dive into those topics, I want to go over some other quick items and get those out of the way. First item is that Analogue Pocket actually released a new updated firmware. And thanks for the Serious account for letting me and everybody know. So on September 10th, they released a new OS 2.3. And on here, they specifically addressed Fire Red, Leaf Green, and some other games where the sleep and wake function was kind of causing memory issues. I did not officially confirm if this fixed the issue. However, I would hope that they have addressed the issue completely. But anyway, if you haven't done so already, download the firmware, upload it to your Analogue Pocket, and hopefully that fixes any of the sleep-wake issues on your games. I'll leave a link in the description to their website. I have not actually done this yet, and I really need to. It's on my to-do list. Pretty nice to hear they actually addressed the issue. Just hopefully it's fully resolved. I get a lot of comments on the channel enjoying the vibe and atmosphere that these videos bring, and a lot of that is attributed to the music selection. Without these artists and musicians, we wouldn't really be able to bring this type of energy and vibe to the videos. With that being said, I want to give a big shout out to one of the artists who I usually use in almost every video, and that's Ottom or Ottom. Sorry, I don't know how to exactly pronounce your name. I'm going to leave a link in the description to his YouTube channel, and I would appreciate it if you just go over there, give a like on his video, show some love in a comment or something like that. It would make me feel good knowing that people enjoy the music on this channel, but I don't think a lot of people have actually went to his channel and checked out his other music and stuff, so just want to show my appreciation. And in case you're wondering, I do have a music license, and Ottom or Ottom posts his music on those sites that I can legally download and upload into these videos like this and share. So I'm definitely not copyrighting his music or anything like that, and he never reached out to me about obviously saying this, but I just think it's something that should be done. Just go over to his channel, give him some love, and let him know that his music is awesome if you enjoy it. I did release a newsletter the other day about Tyrannitar, going kind of more into detail on the EV and IV training. If you're interested in more content regarding this Pokemon adventure and you want to read, definitely check out the newsletter. Leave a link in the description. It's the Substack link. Last item on the list, I decided to use some IV, I guess it was like IV checking websites, so I can input my stats on a Pokemon, what EVs were put into it, stuff like that. And the calculator online will spit out, I guess, with some accuracy, what IVs that Pokemon has. So with the Pokemon I trained, I have been checking the IVs just to see, get a gauge where they are. For some reason, some Pokemon it just isn't working, and I'm not entirely sure, especially the new Tyranitars I trained. But when I kind of figure this out a little bit more, I'll show you guys, go into a little more detail on how I'm doing, what I'm doing, but I mean, it's pretty easy, not easy, but it's easy to explain. It's just on a website, just fill out the stats of your Pokemon and what IVs you trained. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see more accurately what the IVs are specifically, but this is also after I trained it. I mean, you could do it a little before too and get a gauge, but anyway though, I'll let you know a little more when I experiment and test a little bit more with that and kind of get more accurate numbers and I guess see the validity in that. Last video we kind of talked about, got 2 Tyranitars, Sassy Nature one and a Jolly. The Sassy one we made super beefy and bulky, and then the Jolly one trained it in attack and speed, trying to just, get that quick KO. Got the same moveset, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Dragon Dance, and I put Ice Beam on the Jolly one, and the Sassy Tyranitar, the bulky one, I haven't actually put a final move on. Right now there's Crunch, but I'm only testing out the Jolly one. The stats, let's see. The stats on the Sassy Tyranitar. The speed stat on the Sassy Tyranitar is, I don't know, it's so low, and I'm worried if I use it, is like the Dragon Dance increasing the speed even gonna really matter? I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely worth testing out though, but that's something that I gotta take into consideration. I did end up getting the max HP stat though on Tyrannitar on the Sassy one, so that was pretty cool. For the Jolly one, I didn't get any perfect stats because there were no perfect IVs, but the overall IVs were just too good to ignore. Did train them all to level 100s, and obviously have the pictures on the screen of how they look. This did take kind of a while because I was doing them simultaneously. So I had like the EXP share on one, the lucky egg on one, and it was just, you know, trying to get as much XP as I could. I still am trying to get the shiny Larvitar, so when I battle in the the Savalt Canyon, I am battling a lot in the wild grass, but to save some time because this was taking so long, I just battled the trainers for a majority of it. And this is usually different to what I typically do, which I usually just go in the grass, but it was taking a long time. Moving on to Steelix though, so I ended up training the Steelix. I discussed this briefly in the previous video that I needed, the main role of Steelix was to set up a Torment and like protect and stall out the moves and get information. Yeah, use RAR, get information, stall out a Pokemon, and then eventually either go into Dusclops or set up for the Tyranitar, and then that's going to be the sweeper. Steelix innately just has a lot of resistances, super bulky, has the ability Sturdy, so it can't be one hit KO'd, and there are those moves in the Battle Frontier. Overall, just a really beefy Pokemon, and Steelix is super cool. That's the main reason to play Steelix. It's actually insanely cool. Steelix I ended up training had Torment, Protect, Roar, and Rest. And I considered Mudslap because Mudslap has a very high chance of lowering the accuracy. It may actually be 100%, but that's super helpful. I'm gonna put the Chesto Berry on it because when you use Rest, you know, wake up from sleep. You can wake up from sleep very easily. We don't need Steelix out there for 20 turns. You just gotta get out there, get some information, and then allow other Pokemon to set up. Went with the Calm Nature, decided to breed for that. And I already had Onyxes with IVs, like good IVs, so that wasn't really that hard. It actually didn't take that long. After like an hour or two, I ended up getting a Steelix with perfect IVs and defense and special defense. And I wanted HP and special defense, but I decided just to, you know, train this one. I didn't want to spend years, not years, I didn't want to spend an absorbent. I didn't want to spend an absurd amount of time in the breeding process because you could get kind of lost in the sauce trying to get a couple extra IVs, you know. So I wanted one with Calm Nature and 2 perfect defensive IVs. One must be special defense because Steelix's special defense is so low. The defense you don't really got to worry about, it's so high. So after doing that, traded that over to Fire Red, and then we started doing level training. Level training was awful because, again, you're building a utility Steelix, or a utility Pokemon, and it's got like no attack or special attack like stats, so training it's hard. Most of the time I just had the EXP share on it and I was having Rayquaza just destroy a bunch of Pokemon, but eventually moved over, used the lucky egg, and just tried to train in the grass. Took a long time though. Like, it did take a long time for all these training all these Pokemon, but I've been grinding the last like 2 weeks. So after I finally got to level 100, time to get the moves on the Pokemon. I already had Protect and Roar, I think in Fire Red, and I had Torment already in the Emerald, so that was kind of easy. But Rest, I didn't have Rest, but luckily I replayed through the Leaf Green save file and I got that TM, so I traded it over to Fire Red and then taught it to Onyx. It also raises a good question too. Right now I'm debating, like, do I just restart my Leaf Green save file now and then just replay it anyway to get Rest again? I can get like another Thief. I kind of need that too. But I'm also thinking I should probably go defeat Koga first because I want Toxic. And I'm pretty close to there too, so I'm thinking go defeat him, get Toxic, restart the game, and then I can just get all the TMs again. So I think that would probably be a good use of the save file. But anyway, last thing I needed was Metal Coat. And I was like, how am I going to get Metal Coat? So I'm like, all right, I got to teach him the Thief. I was like, if I get a Butterfree with Compound Eyes, then that, you know, increased the chances. But then I got to go to Emerald, and I could use Thief, the Compound Eyes, whatever. It's going down this big rabbit hole, and then I was going through my Fire Red boxes, and I just had an Eevee that I was going to trade over to some other game, and it just had a Metal Coat on it, so I'm not going to say lucky because I knew I had him, or at one point in my Pokemon journey, I knew I had multiple Metal Coats, and I was going to move them around to different games. I just forgot now that I had that. Anyway, saw that Metal Coat and was like, wow, that just saved me like a couple hours of my life. So, I mean, not that I would not have enjoyed trying to get another Metal Coat. I probably will have to do one eventually anyway. I just didn't feel like doing it in this exact time. But yeah, I had the Metal Coat, slapped that on the Steelix, and we traded it over to Emerald. So anyway, let's move on to the Battle Frontier team. So it's Steelix, Dusclops, Tyranitar. Steelix is there to gather information and set up a Torment. Dusclops is there to kind of take care of things that maybe Tyranitar can't, and it can set up Toxic, it's got the pressure, got Protect, it can really stall out games. And then Tyranitar is there to set up a Dragon Dance and then kind of just sweep like that. To be honest, the first was at 14 matches. That's the first 2, I guess technically, like floors of the Battle Tower. That's the only thing I focus on right now. I used Salamence, Tyranitar, and like Dusclops, and I was just using like Salamence and Tyranitar just to kind of wipe those early Pokemon out of the way. Like the first 2 floors are pretty easy anyway. It doesn't really get challenging till like the 3rd floor. And I guess depending on what you consider challenging. But for me, 3rd floor is where it starts getting like, okay, you gotta actually like think. You can't just spam Earthquake and everything. I do also want to note that I do not have enough battles under my belt with this team to get a gauge on its success, but I have faith. I think we've come a long way. I just have to execute the strategy and trust in the team that they will succeed. So overall, I think I got to like floor 25 and 30, roughly somewhere between 20 and 30, like 2 or 3 times. Definitely twice, but I think 3 times. You obviously will see some of the battles. I think most of the ones I died. But there's one battle, the trainer had Mantine, Wailmer, and then Sandslash. So Mantine and Wailmer are both pretty rough because they got a lot of water moves, obviously. And then Sandslash has Sand Veil, so it increases its speed in sandstorms. Which Tyranitar always has a sandstorm going because of its ability Sandstream. I'm also really dumb and I forgot that Mantine is a flying type, so Rock Slide is super effective. I didn't realize this until like another match where there was another Mantine. I was like, I'm an idiot. Just no minor mistakes over here, so I probably could have done a little bit better in this match. But anyway, with the battle with the Mantine, I really didn't want to set out Tyranitar because I was scared with both the Mantine and Wailmer about just Tyranitar not being able to really destroy those Pokemon and be able to set up enough Dragon Dances to actually win the game. Steelix also died super fast in this, I think because it was like Water Sprout. That was just rough. I also got a little unlucky and missed too many moves as well. And then the Ice Beam missed. Yeah, the Ice Beam missed on Sandslash. Like, I don't know. And then Sandslash critted me. It was a rough game. It was just one of those games where I think too many little things went wrong. So that's what happened there. Another match, I got in a struggle battle with Steelix and Skarmory, and I'm happy I won though. This would have been really tilty because I don't know, just a lot of, I wouldn't say I'm used to this strategy yet because I gotta be more patient and know when to put in Tyranitar to be able to set up like 2 or 3 Earthquakes, and when you could take certain risks with certain moves or certain Pokemon that might have certain moves. Probably would help if I do look up the moves online and I guess the Pokemon with what items and stuff they could have, but I haven't done that just yet. But yeah, that struggle battle with Skarmory, that took like, I don't know, that might have been like 20 minutes. One thing too, I have to put more PP maxes or increase the PP on Steelix's moves, because if we do go in the struggle battle, like I ran out of moves before the Skarmory, and I feel like I should not have done that. Like I should have more protects, should definitely have more rests too, but I gotta do that. The match after that, man, that was rough. Like I was actually heated after that match. I mean, I know this is obviously like a chill channel, but like there's just sometimes you're just like, wow, that just happened. Like it just stinks when you're playing for like an hour or 2 hours, maybe even 3, and then you just get hit with something really dumb and just like, whoa. Anyway, last match, Steelix just got blasted right off from the beginning. Like I don't even know what I could have done here, because Steelix in theory should have been able to tank that one Hydro Pump, but I got critted, and all I needed to do there was set up the Torment, and then I can get in Dusclops and kind of manage the situation a little bit more, but not able to. Steelix couldn't even get a move off, so just pretty useless there, unfortunately. And then I had like Dusclops out, and then he just got the Lumberry or whatever, and then Dusclops just couldn't defeat it, and then I don't remember too much what happened here, and I'm not going to watch the video because it was brutal. I mean, I watch it when I edit, but I don't want to relive the memory right now. But I had Steelix, or had Aggron But yeah, I had Tyranitar out and the Kingdra lived with like 1 health. And then I got like double. Yeah, it was Kingdra and Skarmory. I didn't even get to see the third dude's Pokemon. Yeah, that dude had a Skarmory, and I'm terrified now of Skarmories because they have Steel Wing and they have Counter. So when I got Tyranitar out, the Steel Wing's super effective, but then the Counter is like brutal. So especially because Tyranitar here was at low health, I couldn't really take the risk in Dragon Dance, because if I did, then if he Steel Wings, I lose. But if I Rock Slide and he uses Counter, then I just lose anyway. But I figured if I gotta get a lucky crit here or something. That's why I ended up going Rock Slide. But yeah, Skarmories are lethal against Tyranitar. Definitely no bueno. But yeah, these last couple games, they were just, I think everything that could have possibly gone wrong kind of did, like just missing moves. Things, I got critted. But yeah, we'll keep grinding. I think I need like a 1-2 day break though. I was grinding all these levels and we got right into the Battle Frontier, and then got like 2 or 3 back-to-back 20 rounds, which isn't that high, but it still takes a little while to get there. And I just get murked, so. But I would keep grinding for now and kind of better understand the team and how to better execute it. But it's still like, man, Steelix is out, gets critted with a water move, you just lose. Like, what do you do? There's no counterplay. I mean, I could have just switched. So I guess real quick, I could have switched into Dusclops, but the problem then I face is I really wanted to get that Torment off on the Kingdra. But I think now that I learned, if I'm facing that situation again, I just have to go into Dusclops, because if there's a crit on the Kingdra or from the Kingdra water Pokemon, you might not live. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. The Battle Frontier is not fair. I'm saying that right now. It is not fair. They crit so often. They get their status infliction thing so often. It's lethal. Anyway though, hope you're enjoying your Pokemon adventure. Stay tuned for some more Pokemon videos. Be sure to check out Ottom or Ottom's channel. Again, apologies for mispronouncing. Give him some love on there. His amazing music that you probably listen to right now. Check out the newsletter if you want to read some more Pokemon content. And definitely check out the other videos on the channel, because we got a lot of Pokemon stuff, like hours and hours of Pokemon playing. It's a good time. See you in the other video.